All right, everybody. Well, hey, welcome to No Night in America. Hope you're doing well this Monday evening. I know that we had to spring forward yesterday morning a little bit, so the light in the evening is we got a little bit off here. I'm used to doing this in the dark.
Evening.
Oh, hang on here.
I know that we had to spring forward yesterday.
Sorry, everybody. There we go. Let's try this again here. All right. Because my Facebook in the background was going a little louder. But anyway, guys, welcome to No Night in America. We're excited to have you guys here. We got some great stuff to discuss this evening, obviously, in building your ROI calculator. Glad to have you. Oh, for those that don't know what that last tune was on the music, that was actually the House of Cards theme. And the reason I played that right before we get started is that if you aren't using some sort of ROI calculator in your business, you are playing with a house of cards, okay? You have to realize that you are basically running around with a revolver in your head playing Russian roulette with a full cylinder. 6 bolts, ready to pull the trigger if you're doing something stupid. Now, before we dive into that tonight, we always got to go through a few announcements here, a few updates and stuff like that. For those of you joining us, hey, for the first time, we are excited to have you guys. We had over close to 400 registrants for this tonight, so I obviously hit a bit of a hot spot. I see some faces and names on here I haven't seen in a while, which is great. Glad to have you guys back. We do these webinars every Monday night for the most part, unless it's a holiday or I'm traveling. But No Night in America, we're honored to have you guys here. We're going to go through a lot of good stuff tonight for you guys. But who's on the call tonight? We have real estate investors, obviously. I think it's one thing that brings us all together. Obviously, active and investors looking to get in the note business, all right? These calls are recorded for you. Now, a couple of things are the replays are available on iTunes, actually under our Note Closer Show podcast. If you want to listen to this after, it usually takes about 4 days for it to get up there, 4 to 5 days for it to be uploaded. And the guys were at Podatized to work their magic to throw these up there. We do have them up on WeCloseNotes.tv for a while. We'll be changing some things on the replays here the next few weeks. But anyway, I always like to start off with what my goal is. We've got a very lofty goal for over the next 5 years to help over 10,000 note investors. We want to help educate and create. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. We're glad to have you. As always, honored that you would take time on your Monday night to join us here. I know it's the calm before March Madness, so that's why you have nothing else to do. I'm just joking, but we're glad to have you guys here as well. Some big announcement. We are less than literally, wow, I'm so excited about this. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to this. We are less than 30 days now from Note Camp 5.0, April 5th to 8th. For those that don't know what Note Camp is a 3.5-day note convention. It's all delivered 100% online for you. We'll have 4 days of content, 30-plus speakers, 2 different rooms for you to listen back and forth to. We'll give you the recordings as well. We're shooting for over 1,000 attendees for the 4 days. I know that's a lofty goal, but we've done it twice before, and I think we can do it again. The $197 pricing ends March 16th. If you have not signed up at notecamp.live, do so tonight, everybody. Do so tonight because it's important for you. We've got a couple amazing keynote speakers that we're excited to be having. You can go to notecamp.live to get signed up. I've just put the outline of the schedule on there. We'll be finalizing speaker sessions, speaker times this week. But we are so honored to have 2 amazing women who are going to be the keynote speakers, Sharon Lecter and Rhonda Britton, 2 friends of mine. I've called them friends for years, not just acquaintance friends. They're in my phone. Let's just say they answer my text messages. That's how I know that they're friends. But great. And they don't go, when I answer a text, they know, who is this? They know, hey, Scott, what's going on? So I'm honored to have both of these. If you don't know who Sharon Lecter is, she co-wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, a bunch of other books, including Outwitting the Devil and Think and Grow 3 Feet from Gold. Rhonda Britton is an Emmy award-winning daytime host, friends with Oprah, but absolutely is a true expert, worldwide renowned expert on overcoming fears and obstacles. So if you're struggling with anything in your life, you're definitely going to want to make it to her discussion, and we're looking forward to that as well. So, Joe, glad to have you there, buddy. Count you as one of the 1,000. Awesome. Got some great bonuses as well. We got some other great things we're rolling out with that as well. But anyway, we do have something else that we're working on. Hey, if you're like, oh, I don't want to do that, look, we've got some great stuff here. We just launched our WCN membership site too, okay? And I'm going to run a special for you as well. If you sign up for the WCN membership tonight, okay, I'll comp you in. I'll throw in a ticket to Note Camp 5.0, okay? Now, I will say this. We're only doing our WCN membership until we get to hit our first 100 members, and then we're closing the doors for a while, okay? What is our membership? It's a $97 a month spot. We're going to actually, in the process of finally building up the website and our membership site for this, we're going to be delivering specially member-only trainings, member expo discount event tickets. I've got Bill Mancaro's got a discount for Paper Source. Eddie Speed is probably going to send us a discount for Note Expo. Really looking forward to this. Quest is giving a discount. I just got the code from Quest for their Quest Expo, and then their Dallas Boot Camp for some discount codes as well. Our vendors, Pro Title, Law Office of Daniel Singer, Madison Management have put some special discounts in for our membership. The monthly newsletter, we're going to have a private Facebook group for this group. You can get signed up at bit.ly WCN membership. Now, guys, you can cancel anytime if you want, but trust me, the $97, if I'm not saving you $97 a month or making you $97 a month, I am doing something wrong, okay? And yes, we'll have 2 special trainings a month just for our memberships on other stuff that will not cover what we do here, not cover what we do on the podcast, but literally specific things like diving in. Like tonight, we're going to go through some things on it, but we may take it a whole other step further on what we're doing. We're maybe bringing on like Daniel Singer or other attorneys to really help you one-on-one with some of our trainings. Of course, our mastermind members are invited to those trainings as well, but this is a new thing we're doing, $97 a month to the first 100 members. After that, it goes up to $147. I will tell you this, those 100 spots are filling up fast. They're filling up fast, and we're pretty stoked about that, but we've got some really cool stuff. I will tell you this, after we hit our 100, the No Night in America replays will only be available online for those guys and our mastermind members. We won't leave them open to the public anymore. You got to, don't get me wrong, you can still join us in here live, watch us on Facebook for the first 24 hours, but after that, boom, they'll only be available to our members. Now, going to one of our members or one of our vendors, Quest has actually a cool thing going this month as well. It's the first first transaction is on Quest, they say. It's a March IRA special. If you open up a new IRA, ESA, HSA, etc., Quest will donate $125 to cover your first transaction. They want you taking and making deals happen, but you've got to use the code WCN at the account opening, so you can either call them or get online at Quest IRA to get your new account set up, all right? Yeah, exactly, Elise. Yeah, if you are in the mastermind, yes, the WCN membership is different than the mastermind, okay? It's a different thing. Anyway, so stoked, guys. Our podcast this last week just absolutely blew up. Unbeknownst, last week, if you were go back to replay, we just accomplished 69,000. We had over 12,000 downloads this week. It was crazy. 12,000 downloads in a week. Absolutely a lot of growth. I don't know if it's because we hit our 100th episode and it just blew up across different platforms, but we had over 12,000. All right, hang on a second. You want the bit.ly again? My apology. I will go back here to do that for you guys. Thank you very much. I will, you know what, I'll do one better thing. Hang on here. My apology. We'll do that. What I will do is in the chat roll, I'll go ahead and type the link in there so you guys can use it to type it in. So it's HT, it is case sensitive. Okay, everybody? So keep that in mind. We're doing some really cool stuff with this stuff. We got some new t-shirts and we're sending out books every month. Totally great stuff. So there's some costs to this on a monthly basis, but we want to have something in between our classes and then also our masterminds for those to kind of stay plugged in and also do some of the cool things. So we actually dropped our first round for those that are signed up already out today. And so we're pretty stoked about that. But that's the link to get signed up for that, everybody. It's in the chat roll for you. Appreciate that as well. Thank you so much there, Jack, for reposting so people can see that as well. All right. So going forward here, get signed up, guys, because those 100 spots are filling up fast. And whether or not this Friday, actually St. Patrick's Day, we're going to actually shut it down up until after or before Note Camp. So anyway, going on, we're pretty stoked about some things. So any questions about any of those before we dive into the content tonight? All right. Any questions about some of the stuff that we talked about there? Thanks for posting that, Jack. Thanks for asking that question. The link to the bit link is in your chat roll there as well, and you would have seen the answered question from Jack as well. But anyway, if there's not any other questions, we're pretty stoked about tonight's content and building your ROI calculator, right? Now, what's the word I'm trying to say here? I am not going to create a ROI calculator. So if you came here tonight expecting me to create it for you, you are strongly wrong. What I will tell you this is I will help you walk you through it and give you the things to consider, okay? Now, one of the big caveats I have tonight with you guys is you have to create this yourself. Your ROI calculator is looking great. Yes, you can go out and find some great things, and I'm going to go through a couple of things. If you are a WCN membership, and I'll send you the email with a spreadsheet that we give you guys tonight on stuff, okay? Good stuff. Questions here? Yes, Joe, if you just signed up for that, we'll throw that in there as well for you, Joe. Like I said, if you sign up tonight or have signed up in the last week, we'll give you a ticket to Note Camp as well, all right, for the WCN membership, okay? And if you've signed up tonight and you've already signed up for the Note Camp here in the last week or two, don't worry, I'll go back and credit back the 147 to you so that you're good to go in the 97. It's not that big a deal. So just go get signed up. I'll make the manual adjustment here tomorrow in the office and stuff. But anyway, what I'm getting at is your ROI calculator is one of the most important things you have to have. And everybody's is unique, all right? So me giving you mine would not work. If you took Wayne Snell's or Jay Tenenbaum's or Adam Adams or Robbie Woods or Dan Zatofsky's ROI calculator, it's not going to work for you, okay? So that's the first thing you have to realize. You have to create something that works well for you, first and foremost. And if you are used to this number, and this is what you've been using in your business, 70% of ARV minus repairs, you are in the wrong spot, okay? If you are using this in your number, and we get a lot of people that come over from the fix and flip side and the rehab side, and they're like, oh, I'm going to use 70% of ARV. You are wrong. You are literally stupid. Well, no, you are stupid because the note business is totally different than the fix and flip business, okay? I don't pay 70%, and I don't go off of ARV. We're going off of as is. You have to think like a bank, all right? You have to think like a bank, and yes, I throw this up there because this is false. Don't get me wrong. For many years when I was fixing flipper, I used this rough estimate, okay, as my rough ROI guide, okay? That is not the wrong that's the wrong way to do it, though, okay? Don't get me wrong. Ron LeGrand, a lot of those guys, the fix and flippers out there, they share this, 70% or 65% of ARV minus repairs. I get that, but we don't live in the world of ARV. We don't live in that fantasy world. We live in what is fair market value. And if you're paying 70% of fair market value, you better be buying in California or Texas, or that note deal better be on the verge of going to foreclosure tomorrow, okay? For the most part, if you're using this, you're going to be in a world of hurt very soon, okay? If not already. I see people that are paying 70% for notes, and I'm like, you are just work a little bit harder, okay? All right. Do me a favor. If you're typing in questions or using the Q&A, that's for questions, all right? Please keep the comments separately, all right? Don't put comments in there. Hey, I know that you love it that I'm blunt, straight to the point, but let's just keep the Q&A because I'm rolling tonight, okay? So let's just keep it a Q&A. If I ask a question, ask it, okay? Or you have a question, ask it. But let's just keep the comments to ourselves, all right? Now, there's also some rules to live by when it comes to creating your ROI calculator with notes, okay? Your ROI calculator can kill every deal if you go crazy with it, okay? You will overestimate everything, okay? And I have seen people do this. Oh, my ROI calculator. I'm like asking them. They send me their like breakdown. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your offering? Well, I don't have an offering yet. I'm like, well, how the hell are you killing your deal? Do you know your values? Do you know what the bid is? Why are you figuring these numbers? You're worrying about everything else. We haven't even gotten to step B yet. You've gone all the way to Z, and you haven't got past B or C yet. So let's work through these things because your calculations will change a little bit, Tom. Also, you can't sit here and overestimate for every worst possible thing in the world, okay? You've got to realize that there is some sort of, I hate to say this, but some sort of structure to the fuzzy math of notes, okay? And I'll get to that, okay? This is why this is so important. The structure and the fuzziness is all about sticking to your bread and butter deals, okay? When I see people that are buying all over the place that haven't bought there before, where they're buying low value and high value, and they're doing all this other crazy stuff, that is a recipe for disaster, okay? All right. If your link's not working, Raj, then just drop me an email. I'll send it over to you. Or Sheena, sorry, okay? Try a different link or try a different browser, but just drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. We'll get that link out to you, okay? You have to stick to your bread and butter deals, and that bread and butter deals can be for a variety of reasons, okay? You want to stick in specific areas or cities, not rurals. That way, if you do it in those areas, you have specific vendors that you're using all the time, or the asset class, specific repairs, or things like that that you have to know is days on market. If it's occupied, you have a whole different set of rules than if it's vacant. Specific states have different foreclosure timeframes. You also have different taxes. Taxes are different here than they are in Wisconsin, okay? There's a whole variety of things that can go wrong if you're all across the board. So this is why one of the biggest rules that I tell people all the time, hey, pick 2 or 3 states and stick to that to begin with. If you're buying in Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Illinois, not Crook County, okay? But those 4 states, and those are 2, you will find enough deals in those areas, okay? Missouri's not bad. Florida's not as much as it used to be. But if you're buying in the Pac-10, or not the Pac-10, the Big Ten or Southeast Conference parts of the United States, you will often see enough of those. Just pick a couple states. Pick 2 states. Don't worry about going out and trying to learn every other state. Trust me, if I tell you where the deals are, go there, okay? Pennsylvania, Maryland, whatever, okay? Go focus where you're at. The more diverse your area, the more problems you will have because you're spread out. You have different vendors you're working with, different pricings, different timing, different weather, okay? And more problems for you to deal with. So try to keep your diverse area. This will help you in your ROI calculator, okay? The less variables you throw into an equation, the better. The less unknowns you throw into your chemical scientific deal, the better off you'll be. Okay. And then another thing too, if you're trying to combine 2 business models into your real estate business right now, you will get killed. And what I mean by that, I see a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm going to combine, I'm going to take notes. I'm going to use notes to help me go to rentals. Okay. Or you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take notes and then take the notes down, and then I'm going to take it, and then I'm going to use it more to owner finance later on. Or no. I'm going to take my notes to help me boost my fix and flip business. Okay. You have to realize you have to master one before you start doing another one, okay? And the note game is totally different than your rentals, than your owner finance, and then your fix and flip side, okay? So trying to squeeze them all into one is trying to take, what's the best way to say this? Trying to take one tire off and throw it on another one when your front tires are smaller than your back tires, or vice versa. Does that make sense, everybody? Stick to one game before you try, oh, I'm going to do notes and no one perform. And then, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and foreclose and take this and turn this into a rental, and then I'm going to turn it into turnkey. Look, I know there's some people out that do that, and that's completely fine. Let them do that if they've been doing it for years. But I guarantee if they talk a big game about doing one thing or another, they're probably not doing a lot. They may have a few situations that work well. I get it. The reason I've gotten to where I've gotten in my life, the reason Wayne Snell and Jay Tenenbaum and Adam Adams and Karen Wall and Cody Cox and other people that we know and love, Gail Greenberg, just to name a few, have done well is because they've stuck to their bread and butter. They've stuck to the one thing that they understand versus trying to do a variety of things. Now, I'm not saying you can't have a rental off if you take something back or you have to own or finance an asset. I get it. But your business model should be the note game, not the fix and flip, not the rentals, not the I'm going to take a property and boost my owner finance scheme. That is not efficient because now you're dividing and a house divided will fall, okay? If you're dividing your interest up into 2 different things, now your ROIs are going to be way skewed. Let's keep it simple, everybody. Kiss tonight. Keep it simple, sillies, okay? Kiss, kiss, kiss. Let's make it out some. All right. Other facts here, okay? If you always plan at least 12 months to foreclose. I don't care if you're buying in Georgia or Texas or North Carolina or Missouri, plan at least 12 months to foreclose or more, okay? If it's a 12-month state like Florida or South Carolina, plan on it 18 months, but at least 12 months to foreclose. It's just stuff will drag on, trust me, okay? Never, ever count on appreciation. I know some people are like, oh, I'm going to count on appreciation to grow by 10, 15%. You know, if you have appreciation, that's a bonus. That's a cherry on top. But do not figure appreciation into your ROIs or your after repair value in your ROIs. That's a bad, bad deal. As it is, as the property sits here. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is a lot of people will go off a quick 30-day sale price, which is different than what the value of the property is. The value of the property may be $70,000, but they have to sell it in 30 days. Maybe I drop it to 30 grand. So keep that in mind of where things are at. Okay. I will tell you this right now. If you modify and reinstate, it's going to beat a foreclosure sale every time as far as your ROI. Okay. Trying to take something to foreclosure when you have the opportunity to modify it, reinstatement, you're going to lose out every time. How do I know this? I'm a man of experience. I've got the scars, the T-shirt, and the debts to talk about it. But I'll tell you this, foreclosure, if you take your property to foreclosure and sell it, it beats keeping the property as a rental. Okay. If you get to the worst case, rentals, if you got to keep it as a rental, it's going to beat the ROI than owner financing the property and going that route. Okay. Trust me on this. Okay. Another thing too that you have to keep in mind, other facts, higher value assets, and by higher value assets, I mean 150 grand or greater, don't modify well because the borrowers want a low balance. They think they owed something. Okay. So when you look at the existing payment compared to what your payment's going to be as far as purchase price of the note, okay, it's not going to make a lot of sense. Same thing. They don't usually foreclose quickly because the homeowners have attorneys' friends, okay, or they drag it out, all right, or they'll file BK because they have the extra money to do that, okay. They also, 150K assets don't often or usually sell as fast as the lower valued stuff, especially depending on the market, especially get higher values of $200,000 plus houses. They're not going to sell nearly as fast as a lower valued house is. Okay, those are things to keep in mind with your aspect. Now, if you start looking at 300 and 400, I know our California friends are like, $300,000 house, that would sound like crazy here in California. I get it. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about where the majority of the country is, okay? Adjust your numbers a little bit more for if you're in a higher valued area, okay? All right. So let's talk about what goes into your ROI, or do you guys have any questions before we dive into that? I probably should not open up for questions because there's going to be people asking all these oddball stuff, and we're going to get into it. So save your questions yet. Don't ask any questions yet, all right? And yes, we are live streaming this on Facebook. If you are watching on Facebook Live, feel free. Let me hear you say ROI, hashtag ROI in the post. That would be great, okay? If you're listening, or cancel, discard post. My phone's going crazy here. If you're watching on Facebook Live, let's hear you type in hashtag ROI, okay? All right, so let's talk about what goes into it. Well, you have inflows and outflows. Return on investment deals with inflows and outflows, right? Your potential inflows are profits, basically. And we're talking payments, the sale of the asset. You can get a little bit of appreciation over time. We're not worried about that in your ROI thing, but you think about that something, okay? And then your timing. Whether you believe it or not, your timing for a deal is extremely important. 6 months is a lot better than 2 years. This is important to keep in mind because if you get something done in 90 days, your ROI goes up by 4 when you annualize it versus it taking 12 months. So keep that in mind, all right? Thank you, Adria Alvarez, for sharing hashtag ROI. If you're watching this online, it's great. I guess you're the only one of 17 people, the 18 people online that wanted to say that. That's awesome. Now, the outflows. This is where you've got to start pulling lists together for this stuff. Your outflow stuff is going to be what you pay for the property, your purchase price, your fixed and variable expenses, okay? You've also, a lot of people forget about administrative costs. I'm not just talking about due diligence. I'm talking about marketing. I'm talking about lock changing. I'm talking about getting utilities turned on. And that dives in a little bit of repairs, okay? But then you also have to look at the outflows timing as well, like on the front end. What do I mean by that timing? Well, is it going to take you 90 days to get the damn thing rehabbed and sold, or can you sell it right now for 2 weeks as is? Or can you take a 10% discount and sell it at the foreclosure auction? Okay? Think about that stuff, all right? Because if you got to throw it in the rehabs, now you've got carrying costs. Now you've got money costs. Those kind of things are going to cost you money in the long run. Question. Gail, I appreciate it. I didn't ask you to type hashtag ROI on here if you're on the webinar, if you're watching on Facebook Live. All right. Anyway, Let's talk about some of the incoming cash stuff. That it's good to keep it, because that's the thing. You got to figure out how much cash you got coming in, and it's a variety of short-term and kind of long-term stuff. Your short-term is skin in the game for the borrowers. Okay, if they're going to make up any back payments, if it's a BK loan and there's any BK payment sitting to the trustee, or if you can get the borrower to do a cash payoff. All right. Joel Markovitz shared something in this weekend's virtual note buying workshops, which big thanks to Joel, big thanks to Shante Duffy, big thanks to Aaron Young, and big thanks also to Nathan Long from Quest for joining us this weekend. Had a great time, 135 people. But Joel shared something this weekend. He goes, it's not a third are going to modify, a third are going to deed in lieu, and a half are going to foreclose. It's probably more half and half now, or 40-40, with a little bit of 20% in between, okay? Thank you, Joel. Okay? You have to keep that in mind. It's either going to be a modify or you're going to foreclose for the most part, okay? Modification, reinstatement, or foreclose. Now, mid-sale, mid-time is a loan sale. You take it back, okay? And then the property is going to be more of a long-term thing. If you can get something reperforming in 6 months, you can start marketing that thing for sale. That's why I say loan sale there, okay? Or if it doesn't work out well with a borrower to reinstate, turn around and selling the loan off to somebody and sharing the due diligence you've done so far makes that loan valuable, okay? Long-term is a property sale at the auction, foreclosure sale. If you start figuring in rentals, that's going to be a longer term. If you're going to figure in a rental, you got to figure your numbers, your profits divided by 2, because it's over 2 years for the most part to be effective, okay? And if you're going to do which I think is one of the worst exit strategies in owner financing after you take a property back, even longer, all right? Because now you've got to season that note for 12 months, okay? As I said before, your ROIs are about incoming cash and then a velocity of capital. How soon can you turn that money if you need to be, okay? How often can you flip that money? Now, I'm not opposed. This is a thing we talked about this week. I'm not opposed if you're buying CFDs and then if you're converting them to a mortgage. That's different. That's different than, hey, I got a note here. I got to foreclose. After a while, I got to list it. Well, I can't list it and sell it. Now I got to turn around and try to owner finance it. That's what I'm getting at with that, okay? I'm not talking about converting your existing performing notes into owner finances. That's a different animal. I'm talking the long-term side here, okay? It's all about watching that clock. How soon can your attorneys get some stuff done? How soon can you get stuff rolled into getting the cash back or get it reperforming? Time is of the essence in your ROIs too, besides just the costs, okay? It's a critical thing. You don't want to sit around twiddling your thumb for 6 months, all right? Take action, okay? Now let's talk about outgoing cash. This is where a lot of people forget about things. Yes, your due diligence costs, okay? Servicing costs, foreclosure, legal fees, okay? Special servicing stuff. Administrative, okay? What I mean by administrative, well, that could be your cost for your assistant to help out there, your cost for some marketing stuff, your cost for the software you're using, okay? You always got to figure taxes too. Now, I know taxes, sometimes people wait till the end or till they sell it. Like I'll do that a lot of times. We'll wait till we sell the asset off to pay the taxes. But if it's going to tax sale, you better figure out to pay the taxes. Marketing, there's costs with that video, stuff like that. Travel costs, some people don't even think about this. Now, I'm not trying to scare you to overpad your costs and your ROIs. What I'm saying is be prepared if you have to travel to drive by the asset yourself. That could be me driving to Texas City looking at asset, or me having to hop on a plane to fly to Martin County, Florida to show up for a foreclosure sale or foreclosure trial. Had to do that multiple times, okay? Or going to Chicago to show up and talk to my attorney up there for Crook County, okay? Now, there's also repairs that you got to think about if you're going to take the property back. If it's vacant, it's going to need some repairs. Then you have clean out costs, utility costs. Are you going to do light repairs or heavy repairs, okay? The oh shit factor, because something's going to go oh shit along the way, all right? And oh shit's usually going to be about $3 to $5 grand if you're going to do heavy repairs, okay? Taxes, HOA fees. I'm not talking the upfront taxes. I'm talking taxes for year 2. The taxes that run every year, okay? HOA fees in some cases. The management costs, if you're going to have it managed, all right, with your general contractor or turning into a rental, okay? Commissions. You better expect to be paying 6% commissions to find a good realtor. Now, one of the things I do when we're selling an asset, we expect we're going to list it at 90% and we're going to lose 10% in closing costs and commissions. It is what it is. So we're going to probably be at about 81% of our as-is value, okay? Closing costs in there as well. And then also, too, if you're borrowing money on a flat interest rate, 10, 12, 15%, you've got money costs, too. And a lot of people forget about that. All right? A lot of people forget about that. Now, I'll give you an example. I was talking to a guy a while back. He was getting ready to buy a loan, note on a property in LaGrange, Texas. Okay? No, you don't know where LaGrange is. It's about an hour and a half east of Austin. It is the home of ZZ Top, baby. All right? He was all excited. House had a market value of $90,000. He was going to pick it up for $30,000. He's all excited about this deal. And I'm like, okay. A couple questions here. How much repairs does it need? He goes, oh, it needs 30 grand repairs. I'm like, ooh, now you went from buying it at 33 cents to buying it at 66 cents on the dollar. I was like, okay, what are the days on market? I go, wait a second, before you answer the days on market, how are you financing it? With your own capital? He goes, no, I actually have a hard money lender willing to lend me money at 18% interest rate. I was like, ooh, okay. What are the days on market there? 365. And I'm like, dude, have you not calculated what your money costs are going to be? You're going to buy $60,000 roughly times at least 18% interest rate. What's that in cost going to be for you? Well, he's like, I don't know. What is that going to be? Let's figure that out here, silly. Okay. So this is a true conversation. I hope the guys don't listen. So 60,000 times 0.18. That's 10 grand in costs there. 10,800 in costs on hard money costs alone. So now the guy's sitting at the 70% range. And he's hoping to sell it in 90 days, but that's if he's going to hold on to it for a year. Okay? So this is what I'm trying to get at. You have to start thinking these through and understanding, well, why does it make sense? Why is that property that's listed at 90% versus 100%? You've got to start really in your numbers, not going, oh, the best possible outcome. Like, let's take it to the middle. Not the worst, but let's take it to the middle. Start pulling in some more numbers. Is this making sense, everybody? And it's okay to say yes or no on it if it's making sense. Okay? I think you will agree to this. All right? You just have to take these things into consideration. Now, I know that people go to my workshops, they come to the fast track. You guys understand the fact that I say, okay, figure in $3,500 for foreclosure costs, $1,500 for servicing, provided that it's the owner occupied and the power is on. There's no big utility bills or big tax bills. Okay, those are some things. Why is that? Because my goal is to keep that owner occupant in there, try to give them a reinstatement, and I'm also looking at what rent rates are. So by the fact that I focus on my bread and butter, it helps me offset a lot of these heavy back end costs. Okay, because I'm probably never going to get there. Thank you, Lisa. The sense it makes is crystal clear. Ooh, I like that. All right, moving on here. So you also, we talked about this before, the unknown, what's happening out there, whether it's appreciation, or you're going to have depreciation. Does the market increase, market decrease? Okay. Is the days of market going to go from 90 days to 180? Okay. Are you going to have the crazy borrower, the Polish bomber, I like to call him? Okay. Yes, crazy borrowers. You're going to have the ones that aren't going to do a deed and loan. They're going to I'm going to take this house down. And those don't happen very often, unless you get a crazy one. I mean, I've been sued in federal court. That was extra expenses to pay the attorney to show up to get this guy who said he was renouncing the United States and the property that he was renting. He wasn't even a borrower. Renting was solemn ground of Allah. Okay? 12 cop cars to show up to the eviction. Having to file the eviction 3 times and start it over because the judge felt sorry. You have some crazy borrower stories, legal delays that goes into that stuff, okay? Unethical contractors. This is another thing, too. If you've never had a contractor steal shit from you, you haven't done enough deals, because you will have contractors that walk off with product, or they'll do a little bit and get paid and not show up for the last 10%, okay? You will have this happen, okay? Boy, that does sound exciting, Scott. Ooh, I really want to get into the note business, okay? Acts of God, hurricanes, blizzards, thunderstorms, flooding, okay? You will have all sorts of the unknown happen out there. That's why half of this is for insurance. But what I'm getting at is you got to keep that in mind a little bit, all right? That's why your insurance is a cost on your line, all right? So let's talk about the basic ROI setup for you guys, all right? Basic ROI setup, okay? Let me say this again. You're going off of as-is value, not ARV. Okay, as is value, not after repair value. I can't say that enough. Okay, now your basic formula is going to be this. Your fair market value, which is your as-is value, minus your expenses, what you're offering for, plus the taxes, plus the expenses. If you take fair market value minus your costs and expenses, that's your net profit. Now, you divide that net profit by your costs. So your offering plus the taxes plus expenses, okay? Net profit divided by cost should give you a rough ROI, all right? That's your basic formula. Now, what goes into that is a lot more complicated than that simplicity, okay? The idea is you add your things up to figure out what goes into it. Now, things to keep in mind, the only things you can deduct if you're making an offering is going to be off of your taxes, a percentage of what they're all lucky minus taxes. Now, if you don't agree with the value of the property, that's a different story, okay? If all your numbers are showing one thing at 40 and the seller's trying to sell it at 80, you got to have it come to Jesus mean like, listen, man, you got to quit smoking that wacky tobacco that's legal in California, quit eating gummy bears or pot brownies and see the numbers here, okay? That's a very basic thing. I wish it was just that easy, okay? Because you got to figure your exit strategies into this as well. And like I talked before, the way I like to set things up is like, okay, let's figure a modification and reinstatement on the front end and with a note sale in 12 months where we're selling that note off at somewhere between 80 and 85% in the back end, okay? And then we try to figure, okay, REO sale at 90% in 12 months if it doesn't work that way out. In worst case, which is usually the killers that tell us that we don't want to be in the rental market, it's figuring, okay, if we have to foreclose, what happens if we rent it out? It takes a year to foreclose and then a year to rent. That's divided by 2 years. Oftentimes, that's a very single-digit number type of ROI. An REO sale can be pretty decent, 20% or greater. A mod should be somewhere in the 15 to 30, 40% if you've bought right, okay? Don't hold me to those numbers. I'm just simply saying from doing lots of breakdowns, lots of deal scenarios on my dry erase board going through, throwing things into. So the thing is to keep in your ROI. Are there any questions before we dive in some more stuff here real fast, okay? Where happened to, I got a whole thing. Oh, I know what I was doing. That's not it. That's not everything. Sorry. Hang on a second. I think I got a couple slides out of back here. I know what I was doing. Okay. This makes sense before we dive into a spreadsheet to kind of give you a breakdown and stuff there. Sorry about that, everybody. It's like, well, I know I wrote some more stuff down, but let me pull this back up here for you. If anything, you want to take a snapshot of this slide, okay? Now, you're going to use an Excel spreadsheet or a calculator, or you're going to use some generic stuff as far as to lump your expenses in, all right? And when you're experienced, you get better at covering expenses. You get better at having slush funds because you budget for expenses but don't end up using them, okay? Because you get expertise and your vendors are really good at, or you got your SEAL team singer, or you got Shantae Duffy who do a great job for you. You've got your own Jennifer like I do, who can get half our loans modified on the first round of calls or first letters, okay? That's important to have, okay? So let me share with you a little bit of stuff here. Now, what I'm going to do, I promise you something here. Where is it here? For those that have gone through our note buying blueprint before, you would have gotten a link to download our note buying blueprint ROI calculator, okay? And it's a very generic ROI calculator. Now, one of the ROI calculators that I love, I think is really good, is the ROI calculator that, oops, new share here. Helps if I share the right screen, right? All right. So there you go. You should see my screen. That's a spreadsheet. Now, this is, for those that are note buying blueprint students of ours, you would have gotten a copy of this. You can mess around with it, edit it, tweak it. I also like the ROI calculator that Val Satir has on Watermark Exchange, okay? So you can run the numbers through it. You just have to understand what you're changing. This is why you will never find somebody to give you their ROI calculator, because you don't know what the hell went into it, okay? You don't know what's gone into them spending time figuring out where things are at, okay? So that's the beautiful thing is you see this is you throw an asset in here, you put in the monthly payment, the rate, the balance at purchase, the loan cost, the property value, and it'll calculate the cost of purchase and then roughly the yield at sale based on if you get it reperforming or not. Now, it also has foreclosure, reperform investor sale, or the reperform refinance, which I don't really think the refinance thing is viable for the most part, okay? Greg Christopher, just drop me an email at scott@weclosenotes.com. I guarantee if you log in to the note buying blueprint, you'll be able to get this. Actually, So you got the No Buying Blueprint login. You'll get this. Just log back in there. It's there for you to download it. Okay, I'm not going to email it to you. Just log back in No Buying Blueprint. Okay. Then it has expenses in here. Now this is not really the hard fast expenses aspect of things. It's just a generic thing in there. Okay, because I honestly, foreclosure costs, sale commission, I don't like that aspect of it, but this is about as generic. So what I did just recently, and this is very easy for you guys to do too, so don't ask me to send this to you. If I've added a separate column for expenses, and you can just literally just like your servicing costs, your legal costs, repair costs, insurance costs, admin, money, other, whatever those things. So if you type in a number in here, say legal is, let's say we're going to be paying $45 a month. Okay. Well, this is for 12 months. Well, that means your legal bill for that $45 servicing fee per month to your special servicer or whatever is going to cost you $540 in a year. Okay. And then all these number adds up down at the bottom. Very simple formula to add. And the same thing on here. Some flat costs, your BPO costs, your O&E, some marketing costs. Those are flat costs. You're not going to have that happen for 12 months. Okay. So say my BPO was 150. My O&E is 125. Boom, you see the flat cost down at the bottom going there. So that's something simple. But whatever you do, those numbers need to go back in your loan analysis into your expenses. Okay. Where you've got a number that pulls from there. It's not that hard to do. If you need some help with Excel, go take a class. Go to Linda online and take the class. The thing to keep in mind is, I'm going to say this one more time, guys, is your ROI calculator. If you get crazy with it, it'll eliminate deals for you before you ever look at it. So you have to get to the point and realize the psychology of a borrower is one of the most important things. Okay? One of the most important things to know is the true value of the property, double checking the taxes, and then checking the title. Okay? All right? Now, by the value of the property, I mean not just if it's 60 grand. I mean a $60,000 property is more valuable if it's occupied than it is vacant. If it's vacant, you better expect to do some repairs. If it's occupied, you may still have some do repairs in the long run, but somebody's living in it and keeping in it for the most part. Okay? Oh my gosh. What's an O&E? Ownership and encumbrance report. Okay? Ownership and encumbrance report. If you don't know what that is, you need to take a class. I will tell you that right now. If you don't know what an O&E report is, you probably need to sign up for the virtual note buying workshop. That's important to keep in mind, or go to notebuyingblueprint.com and sign up for a note buying blueprint. But literally, guys, this is a simple formula. Literally, we just pulled it for the most part off of Watermark. It's not mine. Mine's a little bit different, but this is about as generic as you guys can use. Now, what I do not recommend is you go like I did. I did a little quick search earlier today and said, okay, what kind of sample ROI calculators are out there? And there are some most complicated sons of bitches I've seen out there as far as ROI calculators. I'm like, oh my gosh. They are not simple at all. You almost need an MBA to operate one. That's not what you want, because a confused mind says no, and a confused note investor's mind says, I'm not going to fund. I'm not going to do anything. So you want something simple. Keep it simple. Work in what your expenses are. Make sure that you've got some stuff going. If you think, hey, it's going to be, if they've made payments in the last 90 days, and they've made 6 payments in the last 12 months, you know you're probably going to get that reinstatement, especially if rent rate is higher than existing rent. Well, if rent rate is less than the existing rent, you better expect to drop it down, or your existing mortgage payment. So taking the time to work through your ROI by adding your expenses and figuring that out and go from there. Now, I know our buddy Dan Zatowski's come and said, well, if you don't know what the repairs are inside, you don't know the numbers. I get it. That's the fix and flip guy talking, okay? And I love Dan. Big Dan Zatowski, okay? Guy can't sing for shit at Secret Knock. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is he's got his model. He likes to do the fix and flips and the turnkeys and stuff like that, all right? I've talked Dan out of deals that he was going to buy the notes. Like, whoa, you're overpaying because you're going off of after repair value. You're overestimating things. You're underestimating things. Keep this in mind. That's why I say the note business, you've got to identify things. Now, if you want to buy notes for your rentals games, you're more welcome to go ahead and do that. I guarantee, though, at some point you're going to get burnt out. Joel Markovitz, are you still on here, bud? See if he's on here. And I'm not here by any means trying to talk you out of business or talk you from your thing. I'm just trying to give you, I've been around the circle. I've been the ringleader. I've done some of the crazy stuff in my life, stuff like this. I just know that if I get down to my bread and butter, I'm fine with my bread and butter. Okay? I am fine with my bread and butter. I don't want to do anything difficult. Let's keep it simple. It makes my life a whole lot easier. When I start seeing investors trying to do 2 and 3 and 4 different things with their note business, they're not the note stuff. It takes them away from accumulating stuff. It takes them away from the simple things. I don't want to work for 40 years forever. I want to work a few more years and then have great deals that are happening things, and then just focus on what I want to focus on. All right. I want to keep my life simple. I don't want to do anything too crazy. Questions here. Marissa says same here, right? And that's the beautiful thing about the note business. You don't have to buy hundreds of thousands of dollars of assets, or you buy a few assets. They can pay your bills. They can handle things. They can be simple. That's what I love about people. If you get to 20, 30 assets, you probably are you've got your bills paid. You've got things taken care of that are coming in on a regular basis. You made some big checks and done some great stuff with you. Okay? This is what we try to get at with you guys is, look, try to keep it simple. Spend the time to go through your expenses. Spend the time. What do you need to do? If you're calculating your ROI calculators first time, you know what you do? You pick up the phone, call your servicer, say, hey, give me your costs. Can you send me this price sheet? You call your foreclosure attorneys in the 2 states or the 3 states. Hey, what are the HUD-approved costs for you to foreclose? Are there any other costs that I need to keep in mind? What's the normal hours it takes for you to foreclose in the state? Okay? Give me an average of your monthly bills of what you paid out your invoices to your normal foreclosures. That's a good starting point for you. And you know what? If you get things faster, great. If their normal average cost is $3,500 to foreclose, you know what you keep in mind? That means I should probably be willing to offer $3,000 for cash or keys if I need to. Okay? There's a guy, I was talking with a friend Saturday night. Saturday night? Yeah, Saturday night. Jason Bible from Music Text. He was talking about a student of his in Dallas who went out and was talking with a distressed homeowner, and the guy they hit it up because they're just their military buddies, and it came to a number that made sense. Well, then like 2 days later, his student came back and said, well, no, I got to do it for $10,000 less. And it pissed the investor off, or the person, the homeowner was like, no, F you. Okay. And Jason was talking, guys, like, well, did the number make sense at the first time? Was it a deal then? Was it a home run then? And his student goes, yeah. And Jason goes, well, then you're an idiot. Because if you tried to get greedy and squeeze an extra $10 out of the deal just because you want to and think you can, you risk getting 100% of nothing than something you get 50% of something. So that's the biggest thing I can tell you with your ROI calculator. The more precise you are with where you're buying at, what it costs from little things, from costing a recording assignment to insurance costs and a zip code, and pick up the phone, call the guys at risk.us or Ross Diversified and have them make a bid for you. Call Shante Duffy, say, what's this going to cost me to insure this asset, and what are my monthly costs going to be? Or call, Joel Markovitz with your 10 assets. Hey, what's this going to cost me monthly for servicing fees or boarding fees or hourly fees? Okay. Robert just dropped me an email. I don't know why it didn't work. Okay. It should be working. But what I'm trying to get at, guys, is take the time to pick up the phones and work through this. You will be so much happier in the long run because you'll have some sort of numbers to work off of, okay? The IRR calculator tab basically just takes the 12 months of payments and figures it that way for you, okay? Oh, it helps if I type in the right. You're right. I did not type in the right code. Sorry. Hang on here. You're 100% right there. Robert, I typed in the wrong thing. My goofiness. Boom. Try that now. That one should work. Member info, not membership. Thank you. bit.ly/WCN member info. It would help if I actually typed in if I had the right information there. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to get at with you guys is you take your ROI calculator, the numbers, your expenses, okay? This helps you out. This IRR calculator basically takes from the time that you buy to the time that you end. It's a couple numbers that would be adjusted by what you type in right here, okay? Thanks, Robert. Thanks for letting me know that. Appreciate it. That's my fault. You're welcome, Gail. Thanks. Questions, comments, considerations? What other questions do you have? Okay. What other questions do you have that can answer for you? It's just a matter of taking a look. There's enough ROI calculators. You don't have to have somebody sit there and show you exactly what cell goes in there. If you click on the cell and see what it says, you've got your formulas. Okay. I don't need to do that for you. You are all grown adults. Okay. Or you need to hire a kid who understands Excel to do it for you. It's not that difficult. But looking through it and working through it, the best way to do it is create one and then work through some deals. Work through some sample deals. That's the only way I got so good at what I do, is working through sample deals that I either pulled from FCI or Watermark Exchange, or was a tape I got from people. Those are the important things to keep in mind for you. Okay. Paula Schaefer, the link. No, I'm not going to send you the link. You see it in the comments there, Paula. Go ahead and click on it. All right. Okay. Is this spreadsheet available to download? No. Well, if you're a Note Buying Blueprint member, yeah. If you would have logged into Note Buying Blueprint, you'd be able to download there. I'm not going to send it out, though. There's plenty out there you can get. How many deals are you doing currently? Golly, we're over 200 plus. We've got. I don't know when the next virtual note buying workshop is. It's probably going to be June or July. Okay. It's all right. You see it now. It's in your comments there. Okay. I just posted it in the chat roll there for you. All right. What other questions, comments do you have, guys? I mean, we're constantly doing a lot of deals. We're working through deals every month, whether it's stuff that we currently have or stuff that we're looking to purchase or buy. Okay. If you don't want to wait till June or July for the workshop, you can go ahead and sign up for it, and you'll get the replays to what we just did this last week. And the replays are already up and running for those that took the workshop. Okay. I actually expedited those and got those done by this morning, a week earlier than expected. All right. Any other questions, guys and gals? The idea is, if you just getting a list of expenses from your vendors is part of the aspect of things to realize. Those are your after repair. Those are your after you purchase costs. You got to keep that in mind. You're not going to deduct your bid by another 10 or 20 grand because the seller's not going to do that. If they're selling to you at 45, 55% of value, your expenses go into that extra, 45 to 55 in note equity that you've got. Okay. Nope, Ken, I don't have that. No, Kevin. Chris asks, how is the climate currently for deals? The notes that I've been seeing lately have been terrible. Chris, I don't know where you've seen them from. Okay, if you're dealing with the Granite Loan Solutions and the low-hanging fruit, maybe you need to pick up the phone and start calling banks and asset managers. That's where we're seeing some really good stuff. So yeah, okay, Brad, exactly. So you had to ask the question. You said no, not to mix fix and flips with notes, but if you get a house that needs rehab, yeah, you're going to have to do some rehab. What I'm saying, if you know it needs rehab, and if it's vacant, you know it's going to need rehab. It's probably not a smart thing to buy it then, especially as a new note investor. Okay. Yeah, every house that we end up foreclosing on or we end up taking back needs some work, but that's why you want to make damn sure that you have a true valuation of what it is and make sure you're buying something that makes sense for you. Stick to your guns. Do I use an ROI calculator before or after you make an indicative offer? Bill asks. I do it. I actually figure in my things in my spreadsheet. You guys have seen me do a rough spreadsheet, and then I make a quick indicative offer to figure where we're at. I give enough fluff into my bid so that it gives me a little extra fluff factor, okay? What states do you like the best for NPNs? Counties within that state? I'm not understanding. Like I said before, Big Ten, Southeast Conference parts of the United States, you'll see the most amount of non-performing notes. And then just judge that, take those states and figure out who has the fastest foreclosure timeframes. If you look in your chat roll, Robert Dockman, you should see it there, okay? Hang on a second. Boom. I just sent it to you personally, Robert. Okay. Lowest ROI you would take. I don't like doing anything less than 20 grand. I mean, 20%. I've got some 12 and 15s and stuff that's drug on longer. All right. It is what it is. Okay. What has been your typical repair cost for vacant foreclosure homes, rough estimate? No, dude. Come on. I try to stay below 10 grand. If it gets more than that, I dump the damn thing and move on. So that's such I mean, I've had repairs have been 20, 25 grand, but those have been worth where there's a lot of equity on the back end side. Okay. If it's got heavy repairs, I just dump it, move it, cut bait, move on. Okay. Do you determine vacancy before indicative bid or while deciding to fade? I try. Well, occupancy is pretty easy. You can call the utilities departments of the counties to see if power is on, and then by drive-by, are there cars in the driveway? Are there toys in the front yard? Does the house look like it's lived in? Cedric asks, has anything been sent out to the WCN membership? I sent over the week. No, dude. Come on, man. I know you signed over the weekend. Cut me a little slack. We just dropped stuff in the mail today, and then I'll have a new letter going out, email going out tomorrow, Cedric. You got to cut me a little slack, my friend. Keith says, I would recommend an ROI calculator that gives you several exit strategies. With ours, I can evaluate 1 to several deals at once. Yes. Well, yeah. As I said before, you want to try to figure in, okay, if it's reinstating and if you got to foreclose and do that. I totally agree with that, Keith. And Keith, buddy, hey, if you send an email to Jen on Sunday, she's not going to answer it because she's not in the office. All right, Keith? So you got to keep that in mind. I think you sent Jen an email Saturday or Sunday saying you couldn't get into the virtual. Well, she was already gone. So you can't get into something, shoot me a text message. All right? You've been added, though, to the Basecamp group for that, Keith. So you've got access to the replays now for you. All right? Good to see you. No, Chad. Chad asked the question, am I currently converting all your CFDs to trust deeds, promissory notes? No. I don't think they make sense for everything. Now, if you get assets that are over 50 grand, it might make sense. But things below 50 and 40 grand, you don't want to do it. It's not worth it. Okay, your foreclosure costs will eat you up. You still want the ability to evict faster than is. In some cases, higher valued assets, it does make sense, but not to all of them. To take it on a case-by-case example. Okay, case-by-case study. No, Blueprint members don't get comped in NoCam 5.0. Can I ask a question? How often do you evaluate your ROI calculator, then add or delete items? Does it depend how far off your projects are? Yeah, if my projects start going longer than a year, you might as well burn your ROI calculator. You don't expect that to happen. Some things just drag on. Sometimes the HOA, sometimes it's foreclosure, sometimes a hurricane hits, and then you're dragged out doing some things. It's just if stuff comes and goes in 12 months, I'm happy. If it's less than 12 months, great. I'm overjoyed. If it's longer than 12 months, I'm not very happy. Okay. Joe asks, how does your eval vary between reinstatement versus modification? You don't know how you will modify it first. Look, Joe, I actually do a little bit. I look at rent rates compared to their existing payments. So if rent rate is $1,500, their existing payment, P&I payment's $1,100, I'm not going to modify. For them to move out, they would be paying more. I'm going to either keep it or I'm going to ask them to sign the prop over and walk away. Okay? Now, if it's the other way around, I'm looking. That's why I look at the borrowers. What are they making? Where are they working at? Okay? Marissa, do you use automated call software to call asset managers? Take me so long to call each one. No. Yeah. You may knock out 50 in an afternoon. Okay? What have you found to be an acceptable due diligence period sellers amenable to you on your LOI? I don't send in LOIs. First off, have you bought any assets, Kevin? Or are you just bidding or still trying to figure it out? Kevin Trend. Due diligence period, it depends how many you're buying. Is it one asset, one single family home? Okay. Then you should do it in 3 to 5 days. If it's a pool of 10 or more, then you got a week or two. If it's a commercial property, 30 days. Okay. Donovan asks, what's the longest you've held on to a reperforming note? 5+ years? Actually, yes, 4.5, I believe. 5 years. Okay. I made all my money back on a deal the first year, too. It's a different time than it was 5 years ago than it is today. All right? If you don't think it's going to get back to that at some point, it will again. Hashtag winning on that one. Yeah. Yeah. And that was something that nobody, like, I'm not joking, probably 100 plus investors have passed over. 100 plus investors have passed over that asset. And I came around to it, I was like, why not? What's wrong with this one? Oh, it's too small. I don't want a $35,000 asset. I'll take it. You look at the collateral file. Borrowers try to do a loan mod for 4 years straight. Why not? Boom. Winning. Exactly. Okay. Due diligence period doesn't have to be that long, guys. The more you're buying, the better off. I sent asset purchase agreements 10 or less usually, killed LOI some time ago, get pushbacks on 15 days, seen renewal. No, if he's buying like one off, 10 or less, 15 days, look, send asset purchase agreements. If this is on the front end, then you're doing business the old way, Kevin. You got to come into the 21st century. You need somebody to beam you up. Hang on a second here. I'll beam you up. Hang on a second. Let me try to beam you up again here. Thank you, Bill Grace-Mayer. All right. What I'm trying to get at is you have to realize sending in an asset purchase agreement, you got to agree to due diligence on the front end. And it all depends. If they provide all the due diligence, BPO and an O&E and stuff like that, they're going to ask you to close quickly. But or if they've given you time to look at the spreadsheet ahead of time, then yeah, of course. But if they haven't given you that information, then push back. 7 days is pretty normal. Okay. Will a note seller tell how long a note has been performing? Yes, but you always want to verify that with the servicing notes, Brad. Okay. I know, Gail, the ROI calculator with a note buying blueprint doesn't have the tab expenses. Yes, just customize expenses. Would it screw up the loan analysis formulas built in your calculator? Yeah. No, it's not going to format. I just added that column in there so you have an idea how to add that in to tweak your expenses. You're fine. Okay. So worried. You have to build it yourself. Okay. Stephen, let's beat me up. You're too funny. Build it and they will come. That's right. I'm doing it. I want collateral files. Yes. Now, okay. First and foremost, if you're asking for the hard collateral files as part of your due diligence, then you're not going to get anything, Kevin. Getting the soft collateral files, electronic collateral files, that's totally normal. You should not fund until you've got the collateral files. Okay? Should not fund until you get the hard to the soft collateral files. But if you're waiting for the hard to show up, you're banging your head against the wall with the mentally challenged kid in the corner of the room. You got to realize you're not going to get the collateral files hard. You're going to get the soft electronic ones. Okay? Oh, I'm having fun on Monday night. Cheering myself up. Okay. All right, guys and gals. Any other questions, comments? We've been at right an hour here. I want you guys to take action. Go out and figure this stuff out. I didn't want to spend 2 hours on this and overcomplicate this thing because it isn't overcomplicated. It's not difficult. You just got to spend time on it. And this is one thing you have to spend on your business. Nobody else can help you with this besides give you some guides. Okay? Give you a couple templates, and then you have to go in and edit it. Trust me, you're going to edit the shit out of stuff. Okay? Pardon my French, but it's Monday. All right? This was a long weekend. We had a good time with our 135, 150 people on the virtual. Yep. I'm beaming you up, baby. Oh, the joy of toys. All right, guys and gals, go out and make something happen. Go out. Put your deals together. If you'd like more information, you can always go to WeCloseNotes.com. Check it out. Get signed up for the membership. Make sure to get something out to you guys tomorrow. Glad you had a fabulous time this weekend, Gail. Jack, good night. Thanks, Ken. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here on Note Night in America. And we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.